Well, happy birthday. What a treat that you get to speak to us first.
Definitely you're the first today.
Will you get to enjoy it later on, your birthday, or is it full work focus?
Yeah, for me it's, I always try to mention, it's not work. I really enjoy it being here. I enjoy it being head coach. I enjoy it being with my staff, being with my players. So therefore, of course, I will spend a lot of time today here at the training ground. But then afterwards, I might also have a dinner with some of my friends and families. Definitely.
Good, very good. Let's talk about team news before we get going. Yasin Iyari, is he someone that's coming back this weekend?
Yeah, he will have his first training session today. So he had some sessions on the pitch without any contact, and now he's able to get in contact with his opponents, with his teammates, and therefore, hopefully everything goes well, and then he might be an option for the weekend.
Yeah, and James Milner had such a great game at the weekend and made that history as well in the Premier League, but looked to come off with a little bit of a knock at the end. Is he all right?
Yeah, he needs a little bit more recovery time than maybe in former times, but he looked sharp again the last 2 days on the training pitch. He seems to be totally fit, and therefore definitely again an option for the weekend.
Any new absences?
No, nothing new. So no new injury concerns, and I think that's quite positive to go with this availability of players into the final part of the season, into an important run from us, and therefore we have a lot of competition. We have a competition about getting into the squad, a competition about getting into the starting 11, and therefore that's something what we didn't had so much in the season so far, and I think it's crucial for us now.
Yeah, and I know you talked a lot about Solly March in the last press conference before the last match, and he was with the squad, wasn't he, but not in the match day squad. Was that just a selection decision? He's still okay to come back?
Yeah, I think I also mentioned regarding Solly to be patient with him, to go step by step. It's very important that he definitely gets game time in the right moments. He needs game time to get back to his highest level, but it's also about timing. It's about don't forcing it. And the last week he had really good trainings week. He continued this so far, and in this week hopefully he has a good session today as well. It will be a big session for him, and then he's getting closer and closer to the squad. I took him with the team because I like having him around the other lads, having him around in this environment, because he's a very experienced player. He is a player with a good knowledge of football, with knowing what it needs to win a Premier League game, and therefore I always appreciate having players with his experience around me and around the team. So it's definitely helpful, and now it's about making the right decision to get him back into the squad and even on the pitch.
You said that this job doesn't feel like work, but I know you admitted in the last few weeks that it was maybe one of the toughest parts of your management career so far. Did that win on Saturday take some of the weight off a little bit? Did it feel a little bit more enjoyable again? Because I imagine it hasn't been that much fun over the past few weeks.
Of course, I always emphasize wins. You can't replace wins with nothing in this world, and therefore wins create an energy, wins creates a positive atmosphere, wins gives the belief back into the quality, although we never lost the belief, but it's still like a confirmation for the quality the individual players have, a commitment or a confirmation for the quality the team has, and therefore it's about reinforcing these kind of messages now with a different atmosphere, because you come from a win, and coming from a win to reinforce messages is quite easier, and therefore I enjoyed it before, but it's definitely an easier enjoyment when you come from a win, definitely, yes.
Yeah, and the fans enjoyed it at the end, and the players were really lapping it up. It's been a little while since they've been able to do that at an away game. I noticed that you didn't stick around for too long. You let the players enjoy it instead, and you were quite quickly back towards the dugout. Is that because you're kind of thinking, you know, the job's not done yet, it's just one win? What was your kind of thinking in that moment?
I think it always goes on, and in the end I will never be that kind of person who puts myself into the spotlight. I know it's always the stage from the players, and if we lose, I will take the responsibility for that. And if we win that, I want that the fans give like the appreciation, give all the support to the players. And in the end, I always emphasize this word togetherness. And I know I used it a lot in the past weeks, but I really could feel it at the weekend. I could feel it, and it's a word that is used often by the lads. It's a word that is used often by the club, and some people can't hear it anymore, but I see the value from this word in the last weeks, and I also felt it together with the fans. It has to be a unit. We have to feel like a unit, because if we really want to challenge like consistently the top teams, consistently the teams in the Premier League where we want to get, then we have to have this togetherness. Then we have to create this unit. And it felt great at the weekend to have the support from the fans. It felt great to give them what they deserve. It felt great to be this unit with them. And it's definitely something what I will keep emphasizing, because that's a value we need to push as a club. That's a value we need to live. I need to live, because togetherness can beat individual quality. And I have a big conviction of this, and that's what we have to prove week for week, together with our fans, together with our supporters. And therefore, it was just a very grateful moment at the weekend to give them the win they deserve. They were waiting so long for this.
I was just talking about proving that togetherness and getting the fans involved. I don't want to bring it back to a negative, but it's the first home game since the Palace match, and obviously there was some vocal negative reaction from a small section of fans. So a lot has happened since then, but how do you make sure you sort of, I guess, have to work to get some of those fans back on side a little bit, maybe? And what do you do if there's a little bit of anxiety in the crowd, if maybe things aren't going to plan after, 20 minutes, to make sure the players stay calm and stick to the plan?
So first of all, we know we will have experienced players on the pitch who can handle it. Second thing, I always want to speak to the fans and say to them they should give the great support they did so far during the season to the players, because in the end they give everything. In the end they're fully committed to this club. In the end they show every day at the training ground and every weekend for this badge the most effort they can give. So I think it's very important that the fans, and overall the fans, do it in an impressive way this season, that the fans keep recognizing it and keep pushing the team. In the end, they can judge me. In the end, they can also be very critical with me. And I know, again, it's part of the job, but it's definitely that we have to create an energy on the pitch. It's our responsibility that we create something, that we transform this energy to them, that they have no other choice than pushing us, than cheering us, than giving us a loud support. And it's up to us how we start this game. It's up to us how we get into this game, how we perform. And again, it's not about always scoring goals. It's about winning personal duels. It's about having a great tackle. It's about sprinting back. It's about having good body language, because like a good body language really has an impact to everyone. And if we have good body language on the pitch, if we have a positivity on the pitch, I'm 100% convinced that it will transform to the stands, and then we will have a great atmosphere. And then I'm also convinced that we have a big chance, a big opportunity to win this game. And that's how we'll face it. And again, if there will come criticism, I will never hide from it. It's my responsibility. But I'm quite convinced that it will be a great atmosphere, with a great challenge, with a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, this last question from me. James Milner, hard to think of things that hasn't been said already, but he received a visit from Guinness World Records this week, which would be quite special for him. He comes from an era, speaking to someone of a similar age, that used to probably get the Guinness Book of World Record book every Christmas. So I imagine it was quite special for him to get those certificates.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important that James Milner always puts the team first, but I think this week was about James Milner. This week was about really appreciating his journey, about not pushing him as a person, but giving him the honor he really deserves, because he's a player like me as a manager I can 100% rely to. He's a player every fan respects. He's a player like every teammate wants to have in his team. So it's not only about records, it's about the legacy he will leave and he continues to live. And I think that's something what we really try to recognize. We had some great speeches from my assistant coach Crofty yesterday. Sean, our physio, together with all the other medical department, did a great job with him, and I think we highlighted the work in the shadow as well. So it's not that it's a one-man journey from James Milner. Also, he highlighted in his maybe most inspiring moment of career of getting his record. He highlighted the medical department. He highlighted Sean, the work they have done with him through the last 2 years, and therefore, it was inspiring moments. It hopefully was also inspiring moments for the young players we have on our team, because this moment showed what is possible in life, and nothing is impossible. It's about work ethic. It's about keeping the standards high. It's about being the best professional you can be every day, and then you can achieve things like James Milner achieved. And it's not about talent in life. It's about, when you fall, do you stand up again? When you have a failure, how do you react about this in life? And he always does in a brilliant way, and therefore I think it was a very inspiring moment for us. But the main thing now is really, and that's also I think his words, or what James Milner would say, it's about keep working. It's about, words are nice, but now we have to show actions. Now we have to be ready on Sunday, and that's how he's preparing. That's how he's living this week, and therefore he's a role model for everyone in the building, and hopefully he can keep pushing and keep having a good journey together.
Thank you.
Hi Fabian, you mentioned James there can keep pushing. Tomorrow will be his 900th match in club football. Do you think he can get to 1,000?
You have to ask him, but I just mentioned the phrase "nothing is impossible." So I really thought he's a machine. He's not a human being. But now after this game, also he needs a little bit recovery time. So therefore we gave him this. But yesterday again, he was on the pitch training hard and very vocal, very intense, and therefore with him everything is possible. I think he has no limits, and it shows also that if you have the right mindset, your body is capable of doing amazing things. So I think the mindset is such an important part in a football career, that if you have the right mindset of always keep pushing, of never being satisfied, of always trying to reach the next level, the next step, then your body will follow. So therefore he's a prime example for having the right mindset, and therefore everything's possible with him.
You mentioned the dinner plans for your birthday tonight, but will you have one eye on the Nottingham Forest game?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it would be like this, that here's the iPad, like with the game, and here's my pasta. So that's how I expect the evening today, and then sometimes a conversation with others. So yeah, definitely we will have a look at this game. And of course we already prepared. Nottingham will try to prepare, but there are always new things you can see, you can adapt. So yeah, it will definitely a mix of having a good time, a good dinner with my friends and family, but also with watching a little bit Nottingham Forest.
Sounds nice. On the theme of 33, the number 33, your number 33, Matt O'Reilly, has only played a handful of minutes so far. He hasn't been in the matchday squad for the last few games. What can you do to get into your thinking?
Keep doing the things he's doing. So at the moment, I just spoke about the availability, the high availability we have, and it's sometimes decisions I have to do, hard decisions I have to do without having any arguments. And Matt O'Reilly is a role model regarding his work ethic. He's training hard. He's having good standards in training. He's trying to improve every training session, and therefore sometimes I have to make hard decisions. Sometimes a coach doesn't have like a lot of arguments to speak to the players and say you are out because of that. He doesn't give me a lot of reasons to put him out of the squad, but in the end I have to make decisions, and he has to keep pushing, and then I'm sure his chance will come.
In terms of Sunday's match, how important is a win in terms of Brighton's current league position and staying in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think every game is important. Every win will be important. We know how the table looks. We know where we want to go. We know what is important for us. But in the end, I always try to emphasize we have to focus on our performance. If we keep doing the performance we've shown in the last recent weeks, we are all 100% convinced that we get the results we deserve. So it's really about focusing on the performances, focusing on the principles, focusing on bringing good energy on the pitch, focusing on getting like the crowd involved, the crowd behind us. I think that's the main thing, because it's not only about this game, it's about the rest of the season, that really like create this unit together with the fans I just mentioned about, to create this togetherness, because that's what will bring us through the season. That's what makes the season still can be a season where we can be successful, but we have to really focus on the performance.
It feels like every time you go up against Forest, they've got a new head coach in charge. In terms of them this season so far, similar run of form to Brighton, but what have you made of them?
I think that they have big individual quality. So when we just watched their game against Liverpool, they have two really good 1-against-1 wingers. They have Gibbs White, who's an outstanding player who finds his spaces in the back from the midfielders, who's attacking the box well. They have a very flexible striker. They have with Anderson a player who's improving every week, who understands the game, who defines the rhythm of the game. They have two strong centre backs, especially Murillo, really good left foot. They have now a goalkeeper with Ortega, who wants to play football, who gives them another element in the back regarding building up. They have two strong fullbacks with Aina and with Nico Williams. So therefore, I think it's a strong squad. It's a squad with a lot of experience. It's a squad with individual quality. So we know about this challenge. We know what Nottingham is capable of doing. So we have to face them with a strong team performance. We have to face them with a good pressing pattern, with a good style of play in possession. And then we're looking forward for this game.
Fabian, you said they've got a strong squad. They're still at the bottom of the table, the likes of Spurs as well, both going well in Europe, some big wins for Forest. What does that say about the challenges for you as a head coach in the Premier League, maybe compared to some of the other divisions in Europe?
I think it proves another time how unpredictable the Premier League is and how competitive the Premier League is, and that the small margins make the difference. I think in their last games against Wolverhampton, they created a record regarding the shots they had against the opponent, and in the last game against Liverpool they had chances. I think the game could also go in another direction. So it proves that small margins making the difference. It's a little bit the same we had in the last weeks. We're not getting the results we might deserve for the performance, and I think that's the same for Nottingham Forest. So really good individual quality, really good patterns they have, and therefore, it will be definitely a big challenge we have to face at the weekend.
You had a specific game plan against Brentford. You talked about taking the pace out of the game. How similar or how different is this proposition from Nottingham Forest compared to Brentford?
Yeah, I think regarding the high pressure, they're quite similar. We expect a team that also attacks us high, very man-orientated. In the low block, they do it quite in a different way. In possession, they also have like a different style of play, but overall, both teams, Brentford, Nottingham, they have big quality. They know what they are doing. They have a lot of experience in the team. So you can't compare these two games. You can't compare the opponents. Of course, you can take elements out of it. You can take elements out of the last game. What can we do? What can we improve? What fits to Nottingham? But then it has to be a different match plan against Nottingham. We have to discover like different spaces, different gaps in their formation. We have to be concerned about different things. We have to adjust other things we adjusted regarding Brentford. So you always need to adapt without losing the foundation. And the foundation is our style of play, the foundation are our principles, and I think that's always the most important.
And just finally, you mentioned about James Milner being an inspiration to young players. What about Lewis Dunk? We saw him fall to the ground at the end after he'd given everything. He's got this knee issue as well. Does it though maybe give an opportunity for him to extend it even further than maybe even he thought his career could be based on what he's seen around him?
Yeah, at the moment, what he's doing, I think it's difficult to describe in words, because he's feeling pain. We know it, but he's suffering for the club. He's there for us, for the club, for his teammates, and he's not only there. He's performing. He's performing well. I think he he's playing at the minute at his highest level. He played the season so far, and I still have the feeling he's getting better and better from week to week, and therefore he is another prime example for the young players, another inspiration. I think you don't have it nowadays in a lot of teams that you have a player who makes more than 500 games for a club and who is now in the Guinness World Records. So these are like two examples where all the young players, not only in my team, from all the world, like should really like focus on them and should get an understanding why they have these kind of careers. What are they doing? What do they sacrifice to get these kind of careers? Because I mentioned it's not about talent. It's about like sacrificing things. It's about suffering. It's about falling and standing up again. It's about having the right mindset, and therefore two very inspiring players, two very inspiring personalities, both completely different characters, but pleasure to work with them.